Since 1995, there has been an increase in tropical cyclones. In recent times, we have seen several hurricanes reaching as high as Category 5, the highest number on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. According to a 2020 study published by the Climate Studies Group at the University of the West Indies, Mona, it has been projected that the Earth will see a rise in temperatures from 0.47 degrees Celsius to 1.17 degrees Celsius by 2030. In later years, the temperatures will further heighten from 0.6 degrees Celsius to 2.3 degrees Celsius by 2060. Acting CEO of RADA, Marina Young, says two critical impacts of climate change in Jamaica includes used water availability and increased extreme natural disasters such as hurricanes, landslides, water stagnation, seawater intrusion, and floods.
In all cases, the impact significantly affects directly not only agriculture, but also rural livelihood and value chain. According to the World Risk Report, Jamaica is ranked number 29 out of 181 countries as being most at risk. And Jamaica also considered to be at the very high risk classification.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has developed a National Agriculture Disaster Management Plan as well as a climate change framework strategy as part of its efforts to build resilience and capacity.
We also are very heavily focusing on the on-farm water management and especially in the areas of increasing efficiencies. It is a fact that majority of agriculture sector in Jamaica is rain-dependent, and therefore it makes us very vulnerable to the events such as droughts and dry spells. So therefore, RADA extension staff widely promote use of technologies like drip irrigation systems to ensure that our farmers can successfully cope with crop production on continuous basis during the dry periods and during the very frequent droughts, which we're actually experiencing almost once or twice per year.
Ms. Young adds that the extension services of RADA has assisted in training farmers on drip irrigation.
As a strategy to cope with the drought and dry spells, we are in Jamaica for a number of years scaling up installations of rainwater harvesting systems, which we successfully validated in collaboration with the FAO. And those systems consist of the small shed with a zinc roof, which is used to basically harvest the water. The water would be channeled in 1,000-gallon storage tank, and then from the tank, through the gravity drip irrigation system, water would be channeled to the field to irrigate the crops.
Ms. Young says through the special project intervention, RADA promotes water storage capacities as farmers are frequently affected by droughts and dry spells.
And for example, during the 2021-2022 periods, we implemented a project where 2,000 farmers benefited from the installation of the 1,000 water storage tanks, plastic tanks, and they also benefited from quarter-acre drip irrigation system, which would help them to cope with the challenges of the drought. The tanks are used for dual purposes. It could be used for rainwater harvesting, but in many cases, the farmers purchasing the water, and therefore they have additional water storage capacity.
Given the geographical terrain of Jamaica, the island is very susceptible to watershed degradation.
As approximately 80% of the land surface is hilly and mountainous, with more than 50% having slopes greater than 20 degrees. So we have really hillside agriculture in Jamaica. So therefore, conditions like that make us very vulnerable to rapid loss of the soil and also requires sustainable application of sustainable soil management and conservation treatments. So in the Rural Agriculture Development Authority, we provide land husbandry services through the specialized officers and also agriculture extension officers, where through the training and practical demonstrations, we assist farmers in construction of the land husbandry treatments on their farm to, first of all, to ensure that the valuable soils are retained, and also the moisture which comes through the mostly rainfall conserved as much as possible.
As part of its efforts to build farmers' resilience, Ms. Young explains a production initiative program which promotes the use of an early warning system for specific pests such as the beet armyworm.
And that system includes actually regular monitoring of the fields, collection of the data, then use of meteorological data, and in combination, when analysis completed, it's provide us with a short-term forecast, which is showing basically trajectory of the pest. Because the system has its predictivity component, which is allowing us to implement mitigation strategy or prevention strategy where we want to either minimize, either totally prevent occurrence of outbreak of beet armyworm. We widely promoting establishment of fodder banks, which usually allow farmers to have accessible source of the grasses or whatever feed they use during the dry spells. And we're also highly promoting the preparation of the silage and mineral blocks, which also help farmers to come through the times which are challenging in terms of the dry season.
Over the years, there have been several attempts to establish an agriculture insurance program to aid farmers in their recovery efforts from the impacts of climate change. But Ms. Young laments the process has been difficult.
One of the local companies are currently offering the product, which is called micro insurance or Weather Protect, which we consider to be parametric insurance. It is triggered based on insurance policy, which is designed to help and cope with the extreme weather events, specifically wind and rain. And payout is based on a weather index, which the insurance company use. For example, excess rainfall and high wind speed measured in each parish. And once a trigger value is reached, the payroll will be triggered automatic payments. So it is a recent introduction, and it is used by a number of the farmers, and we hope that this product will be more and more accessed by our farmers.
Loans are also available for farmers at various financial institutions.
Through the network of small microcredit entities in Jamaica, some of the companies offering special loans which are low interest, and I'm aware that some of their products are including even climate smart loans where the farmers can borrow at the single digit interest rate, and those loans would be used for improving of the on-farm infrastructure to make it less prone to the natural disasters.